Hey guys, it's Randy with Essential Maintenance Services. I'm going to do an overview, kind of a mid-season update on the 2024 hybrid. It is actually now a true hybrid. I've added a bunch of stuff on here. I've got to give a big thanks to Brian Shipley, owns Midwest Washing Equipment. Him and his crew helped me out with this. Brian has helped me out with a whole bunch of getting this vision of mine to come to fruition. There's a lot of technologies in this. Probably not going to be able to cover them all, but I'm going to do a real good general overview. Basically, the Hotsy and the hose reels are about all that's left off of what I originally started with 2 years ago. So we'll start here. It's Honda GX200 power and a P40 Comet. Got two 7-gallon a minute soap tanks. Got neutralizer in one, got soap in the other. And it's from Midwest Washing Equipment. Pretty much all I deal with. Great group of people. But got the plumbing all tied together. Came out pretty nice, I think. That's the filter going to my pressure washer. And then coming off of that is a dump valve. That's the fill line for my pressure washer. Then the other fill line goes to the buffer tank on the pressure washer. And it has its own filter set up coming in there too. Got these tank stands and P40 stand. Midwest done those, and beautiful welds. I'm a welder by trade, and that looks like jewelry. I mean, awesome work, awesome fabrication. Got all my tanks labeled. You got your chem 100-gallon, two 100-gallon for water. Got your SH stickers on there for your hazmat. I did away with the 3-way setup on this. I still have it, but I don't see any time soon. I'm going to be needing a 3/4 output line. If there's a pump that requires a 3/4 output line, I'm probably not going to use it because I don't want to pack it around. There's the Downstream module, still in the same location. Moved the 3-way. It's mounted straight in. You got a choice between neutralizer and soap. And then you've got your SH remote, which comes directly off of your mixer. This is a manual soap. This comes straight out of your bleach tank, and this comes straight off the remote rinse module. And then you have an option between switching between this block and the rinse module with this switch. Has a Flow Pro and a Super Sud Sucker. And the Flow Pro is part of a dual actuated remote control system that I'll go over here in just a minute. And then here's the other side of the plumbing. This is the Siamese going in for the 2 tanks. It's done in 1 inch, and it's very sufficient on the flow. And then it has a second dump valve that comes out the back that's dedicated. So this has 2 1-inch dump valves. Then we're coming back over to the cube module that I made. This is all Midwest Washing Equipment. It's a Hydr-mixer XL. It's got the modifications in it for filling your chem with your onboard pumps and a transfer system built into it. I actually used this to prime the P40. It primed it all the way through, no air bubbles left in it, anything. Didn't have to do anything other than that. It has a 7-gallon a minute on that side, has a 7-gallon a minute on that side, and it has a 5.3 transfer right there. These 2 switches down here switches this from these tanks to these tanks for 2-step fleet washing. The remote control system is a radio trap, and those are pretty exclusive to Midwest Washing Equipment. And there's the remote controls for them. They have about a 3-mile range. The one with the blue D-ring, that works everything. That's the one I use if I have a second person working with me. The second one only works the A button or the actuator for the Flow Pro. That's what I would give a helper, because they can only push that one button. It's the only thing that'll work. Mine will work everything. So what you have here is this flows out and goes into your input block. This is a 5.3 pump, one 7, the other 7, and the P40. It goes down and it comes into an output block, and it's labeled down there, and it has a pressure gauge on it, and lets you know any pressure coming into that block. And then it goes into a transfer system, and you can divert it. Right now it's in operation. When you flip this up, it transfers and goes into this transfer block right here. Normally operating your system, you will never use that. All that does is fill up your tanks. And then the other one is your normal flush valve for your chemical or your water. And in my particular case, my flush valve comes back, and I have a second one that lets me pick between neutralizer and water. So I have options there. And this hose you see coming out, that is my fill line. That is also the line I can use to empty the tanks, and I can spray from that line. It goes both ways. So what you have here is that this is your soaps, and they're remote. So this supplies your soap valve. It also supplies your transfer valve, which is why everything's done in 1/2 inch and not in 1/4 inch. The only 1/4 inch you have over there is going to your drop stick right here, which gives you pretty much infinite soap. That's why I said when you're downstreaming, this would be your best option, because you can pull whatever you need to through the system. Take you up top here. Here's my remote rinse module. On one side, I have a downstream pulling off here, and this feeds my soft wash system, and it's automatic. This is my bypass for the P40. It does not go into my block. It goes straight back into the inlet line. And then I have the P40 check valved, both at the bypass and the output. And it's check valved again at the end of the bypass, and again at the end of the output. What that does is it prevents your pressure spikes that tears the diaphragms up in these. I also have that same setup here, which pulls out your soap on one side and your transfer system on the other. So if you're filling this up, you just hook to that line. If you're using your external pump from your shop, you just hook to that line, turn this on, turn that transfer line on, and it goes where you want it to. I'm just assuming doing chem on this, but you turn whatever you're sending wherever you want to send it. Again, there's the remotes for the remote system. I know this is kind of scattered, guys. I've got a lot going on in my head right now with this, so y'all just have to kind of bear with me. This switch here is nothing more than to turn the remotes on and off. I was just programming the remote, had them on, and that's what you have to do to activate the remote system so it's not drawing power. There's a 100 amp hour lithium battery inside of there, and then this jug feeds to your chem line, and right now it's flushing with neutralizer, and that's what I have it set up with, but it's an interchangeable cube. As you can see, you can switch this out with BC Cleansol or whatever else you need to that needs to be metered equally, and that's how I achieve that. So basically, this feeds your soap valve, and this feeds your chemical valve. But there's the setup, guys. I went over the Hotsy a few times in some other videos, and there's my light supply and plug-in for power. The generator on the pressure washer does charge the battery, so I never have to charge the battery. I haven't charged it all summer. You don't have to open any of the lids on these tanks, your transfer system moves all the chemical on it, off of it. It don't really matter. So to break this down, and if you notice, I can't even get to the lids on that one. But to break this down, this system has 4 options for soft washing: a 5.3, 2 7s, and a P40. You have 3 downstream options, all remote controlled. 2 people can work off of it independent of one another, all off the same remote system. There's basically one soft wash system here that runs 4 pumps. I'm trying to bring some stuff to market for you guys so you can have some options without having to buy multiple systems. Hope this helps out, guys. Hope y'all having a great wash season. Y'all take care.